Hola chicos! Today we're going to talk a little bit about expresiones impersonales. This goes with our unit on el sonido and ruido. So this is an explanation on how the structure works. It's actually very simple, and it's a structure that is important for giving instructions or giving information to the public. So you see this a lot, like say at a health clinic or maybe on a bus or any place, maybe a train station, someplace where instructions to the public are necessary. Okay, just like in English, we have a bunch of impersonal expressions, and it's very, very similar in Spanish. So when somebody says to you, for example, they say that Spanish people are really friendly, the subject of that sentence, they, is not referring to anybody specific. Just like in the example, one has to practice a lot to get good. One in that sentence is referring to just general knowledge, giving some sort of instruction, but not necessarily giving it directly to you, the listener. Other examples in English would be you should drink a lot of water after exercising, or you make spaghetti by boiling water first. So, for example, instructions in recipes in Spanish are often seen using impersonal expressions. Another example would be, it is important to pay on time. Again, that's giving an instruction without talking specifically to the person who is reading or listening. So in Spanish, we have a couple different ways to do this. You can do hay que plus infinitivo. It's just like tener que plus infinitivo, but it doesn't have a specific subject. So the nice thing is that you never have to conjugate I. It's always the same all the time, and you just use an infinitive afterwards. Another way to do this is to use se plus verbo in la tercera persona, and it can be singular or plural. So for example, no se venden refrescos. In other words, refreshments are not sold here. Or se recomienda utilizar transporte público. It's recommended to utilize public transport. So in other words, it's, again, being very impersonal, but it's giving instructions. The singular or plural part depends on what your subject is. Okay, so for example, no se venden refrescos, or refrescos is plural, so you're going to use venden. Oftentimes you see this too in store windows in the United States, where you might see se habla español. I know I see that like in lawyer commercials. Spanish is spoken here. It's a way of impersonalizing the action. You also have es plus adjetivo plus infinitivo, which is something we covered in depth last year when we went into the subjunctive. Obviously, you wouldn't use an infinitive. If you're using the subjunctive, you would use a que and then a subjunctive verb, but remember that if you don't change subjects, you can use an infinitive. So for example, es importante estudiar, es necesario salir ahora. I also have a few other examples to illustrate some of these usages. So for example, we have para recordar la lectura, hay que leerla varias veces. Se debe comportarse bien, one should behave well. Or se producen motos en aquella fábrica. Motorcycles are produced. So you see there that producen is plural because motos is plural in that factory. And es mejor no empezar a fumar. It's better not to begin smoking. Which again is a general thing. These are ways of giving instructions without specifically addressing the reader or the listener.